Welcome to I Rock Business with Confidence, the podcast where passion meets profit without the pressure of a big price tag. I'm your host, Cori Fonville Foster, transformational speaker, certified business coach, trainer, and the CEO behind the mic. In every episode, we dive deep into the heart of entrepreneurship, bringing you stories, strategies, and tips to monetize your passions while maintaining your budget. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or looking to scale up, this is your go-to resource for affordable sales and marketing strategies. Join us as we interview small business experts from around the globe, sharing their journeys, challenges, and the solutions that propelled them to success. I Rock Business with Confidence podcast is here to demystify the process of running a successful business on a budget. Get ready to transform your entrepreneurial dreams into reality, one episode at a time.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Cori Fonville Foster, and I am super excited to be bringing you another bonus episode where we are highlighting some of our amazing speakers that will be presenting at our upcoming Implementation Lab Live, happening October 18th and 19th. The event is completely virtual and it is completely free, so grab your ticket. Today, we're going to have one of our speakers give us a little taste, a little sprinkle of what they are going to be presenting at the upcoming event. And I'm just super excited. This speaker is so up my alley, so up the way my brain thinks. And I think you're going to really get a lot from it. And you guys know me, grab your pen and paper now, because even with this little taste you're going to get, there are going to be some bombs dropped, some gems left for you. So you want to make sure that you are taking notes and you are ready to implement. So without further ado, let me give you a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to go ahead and dive in. All right, today's guest is Hazel Jones. She is a conversion copywriter and business marketing strategist who has helped women-owned brands turn scattered marketing into clear revenue-generating customer journeys. Doesn't that sound amazing? I know it does for me. With so many years of experience in copywriting, email marketing, and full funnel strategy, Hazel has helped countless entrepreneurs go from kind of just getting by to confidently, right? Let me say that again, confidently attracting and converting their ideal clients, right? So if you're someone sitting here, you're like, I got to get in front of my client. I really want to make sure that my messaging is clear. Then today's episode is for you. How are you doing, Hazel?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. I love when we have amazing experts who have been doing the thing that they've been doing for years, because you have seen all the different iterations, right, over time of what entrepreneurs are dealing with, right, day in and day out in their businesses. And you have created, I would say, a simple but powerful strategy to helping them kind of change their mindset and get moving in their business. And does that hit home for you? Does that sound about right?
It does, yeah. And I'm excited to talk about that today and during the Implementation Lab Live. I think it's going to help a lot of people get clarity and be less confused about marketing, especially if they're just starting out and they're, bootstrapping it themselves. This is going to help you a lot, just give you a good roadmap for where to go next.
Absolutely. And speaking of clarity, the title of Hazel's presentation that she'll be presenting at the Implementation Lab Live is Clarity Wins, Simplifying Your Marketing Message, Multiplying Your Results. Oh my gosh, that sounds absolutely amazing. But before we dive into more about what you're going to be talking about at the event, I want to learn more about you. Like, who is Hazel? How did you get into copywriting and messaging, especially around entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is something I always think is very interesting too, to see how people got into business, because it's rare that people start out and they just, are entrepreneurs from the get-go. So I actually used to work as an analyst for the FBI for about 5 years. So I had kind of a very circuitous route to entrepreneurship and to business. I had a string of bad bosses there who really didn't treat me the way that anybody should be treated. And that led me to leave the bureau and want to go off on my own. And that experience really honed in that I do not want a boss. I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business. And I got into copywriting that way. It was a way to have an online business where I could work from anywhere, work with a whole lot of different companies, no matter where they are in the world. So that's my story of how I got here.
Oh my gosh, from FBI to copywriter. Like, who
Yeah.
That
very big difference. Mm-hmm.
I like it though, because now I'm a little nervous, because not only are you good at like helping with messaging, but you gotta look at that law enforcement side. So we gotta act right in front of you. But that is so cool. I love talking about people's journeys, because I think, like you said, most people don't just wake up one day and say, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? Unless maybe they have entrepreneurs in their family. A lot of people kind of fall into it from other, experiences, other jobs, other career paths. And so I love that you kind of talked about yours, because again, who would have thought FBI and then moving into entrepreneurship? Like, that is not a linear process by any means, but you, of course, I'm sure, have used some of those skills that you've learned and translated them into business coaching and marketing strategy and things like that.
Yeah, that's the great thing about being a business owner and being an entrepreneur, is nothing you do is ever wasted. Everything you do is going to help you in some way in your business. And so I think that's a great part about, going off on your own and doing your own business, because truly nothing is wasted. You never know what past experience is going to come up and help you deal with whatever problem you're dealing with.
Yes, absolutely. And shout outs to those bad bosses you had, because without them, we wouldn't have you helping us.
That is right. Yeah.
Yay. They kind of push you out. So now we have you and your expertise. And speaking of expertise, your session kind of goes into the idea of, you say clarity wins, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you really focus a lot on the messaging to create like engagement and conversions. So what does that kind of look like when it comes to like marketing strategies? How do entrepreneurs create clarity in their marketing strategy to help them convert better with their clients?
Yeah, so I think this strategy is something that it definitely helps when you're first starting out, especially because it helps give you a North Star to have all your marketing kind of go back to that same core message. But it also helps as your business grows, and for bigger brands, to again have that North Star and come back and make sure you remember your core message and have everything lead with that. And the main reason we do this is because when you confuse, you lose. So if your messaging is kind of all over the place, and if it's not consistent, that doesn't build trust, it doesn't build a community. And it also, if you confuse people in any way, people have to burn calories trying to figure things out on your website, for example. If they can't figure out what it is you do or who you serve, they're going to bounce. They're going to leave. They're not going to waste time trying to figure that out. So making things clear over clever is if you can take away one thing from this call today, from this podcast, be clear over clever, because clarity wins every single time. You're going to get more conversions with that.
Oh my gosh. As soon as you said that, I thought about all those people who try to sell you or get you to do like Bitcoin or to do like the insurance things. They always kind of try to be clever and like talk around what they're doing. So you're like, what are they talking about? What are they selling me? And then it's like, oh yeah, invest in Bitcoin, or, start selling insurance. Why don't you just tell me what you're trying to say? Because now I feel like you're trying to, bamboozle me, and I'm no longer interested. And so I love that you said that. And I also love the part about the fact that confusion really does kill sales. And people don't realize that they're trying to say things in a certain way that really isn't connecting with their audience. It's not using their audience's language. And so people are, even if they're the perfect ideal client, they don't realize it until they're not buying. So from your years of experience, what are some of those like kind of common mistakes you see entrepreneurs make time and time again when it comes to like not creating clarity within their messaging?
I think the biggest thing I've noticed, and this is especially with beginner entrepreneurs, is you want to talk, you're trying to reach too many people. You don't have a clear audience. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to help you get clarity with and show you how to do during the implementation lab, because you have to know who your audience is and you have to be very clear about that. Because if you talk, we've heard this all before, if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one. So instead of being incredibly broad, we're going to narrow that down a little bit. And then, so that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen. And I've also like kind of not picking a lane, and you can expand. That's like a common misconception that people have when they hear, you know, like have one core audience and then one core offer, but you can build off of that. But it all comes back to the core message in the end to tie everything together and make it cohesive.
Oh my gosh. I think those tips are spot on, because I definitely see that a lot as well with the clients that I've worked with, where they're just like, well, anybody can buy my product. Well, like, yeah, but it's not really going to be the best fit for everyone. And they're so concerned with missing out on dollars here and there that they don't enough. And I'm like, no, if you niche down, then people, when they're scrolling, right? My son calls it doom scrolling, but when we're scrolling, they see your message and it calls to them, it speaks to them, and they actually stop and pay attention. If not, they just they just scroll by. So I think what you said was so spot on and so perfect for the time we're in, because there's just so much content out there, right? Like
especially with the holidays coming up, it's going to be crazy coming up.
Holidays, Black Friday being just Black Friday, maybe the weekend. Now they're like Black Friday all month. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It can get wild.
So much stuff out there, but I like that you help your clients kind of rise to the top of their field when it comes to messaging, when it comes to copywriting. And a lot of people don't realize how important copywriting is. And some people are trying to shortcut it. We're going to talk a little bit about AI now. We're going to talk a little bit about it.
We can talk about that. Yeah.
Because people don't understand the value of, I would go as far as to say traditional copywriters, right? There are different types of copywriters for those who are newer to the industry. You have some copywriters that are great with long form, some that are great with like email marketing, some that can do a little this and that. But a lot of people are like, well, I'll just use AI. But they forget that AI sometimes, and a lot of the times, because you're not the greatest at AI, a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you're just dabbling. It doesn't give you that human element that really is that connector. And so when you invest in a copywriter, they're able to, I'm not saying copywriters don't use AI, but they're able to also pull in that human quality to the messaging that really allows folks, in my opinion, to connect better. Can you talk about kind of how AI can be used, or your feelings about AI when it comes to copywriting and putting messaging out, whether it be email, website, social media, or any other platform like that?
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because the landscape right now is there's a lot of people who are scared that AI is coming for their jobs. AI is going to take over everything. People are just going to use AI for whatever. And it's interesting because I think AI is a tool. It's a neutral tool. You can use it to help you speed up a lot of processes and different things like that. It can help you brainstorm really well. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to do a lot of quality control to make it more human. And a lot of people, I've seen this a lot all over LinkedIn. There's a ton of conversation about people are very AI savvy. We're smart. We can tell when something has been, just written from AI and have it done poorly. Like with AI, you kind of have to know already, like you have to have that level of experience and expertise already to know what to look for in copy and to know what makes it good. And you can put in prompts that can help you get there. But if you don't already have that background, or you don't have that knowledge of like what to look for and what's good and how you can improve it, it's going to be hard for you to get something really solid that's going to convert for you right off the bat with AI. You always have to do quality control. But I don't think it's a bad thing to use in terms of like, helping it speed up your process with getting marketing stuff done. However, you always have to do quality control, and you can't rely solely on that.
I think that's sound advice. For people who are listening, I think they should heed that, because yes, people can tell a lot of the times, and sometimes what I tend to find truly is that people just aren't as great at AI as they think, and it's just super generic. I'm like, oh, this sounds very generic. Come on, guys. And it doesn't always tell your story, and like I said, put in that sauce that only you can have. So I do agree, though, it is a tool to be wielded for good or for evil.
Right. And that goes back to being generic.
Yes.
You don't want to be generic because you're not going to resonate with anyone, because it's about hitting the inbox, or coming across the right people at the right time. That's what's going to get you more sales.
Yes, I love that. And speaking of kind of platforms, because I know you, like I said, you've been doing like email stuff, you do website stuff, social media marketing, and lots more. A lot of entrepreneurs right now just kind of feel overwhelmed, right, with the whole process of messaging, and having to. A lot of them feel like they have to create content for the website, right? Different content for the blogs or articles, different content for lives, and different content for social media, like regular posts. It's a never-ending list to a lot of them. So how do you kind of help clients, as you help them with their messaging, figure out how to make it doable? Because a lot of them are burnt out, overwhelmed, frustrated with the whole process of knowing they have to get their message out, but realizing there's a lot of places it needs to be.
That's a very good question, and it's very nuanced, because my recommendations for people are very much based on their unique situation. So it depends on, are you a solopreneur? Do you have a team? What are you already doing? If you're at home and you're overwhelmed and you're an entrepreneur and you're, I just can't keep, this is not sustainable. I can't keep doing all of these different things. I want you to take a look at what you're doing and really take a look at what's already working. So where are you getting most of your leads? Where are you making most of your sales? And double down on that and focus on that. Like, you don't need, 50 or whatever different social media accounts that you're all posting on all the time. What I do LinkedIn. That's my one account that I'm focusing on right now, because I am a solopreneur. So that's what I find sustainable, and that's the platform that is working for me right now and getting me the most results. So it works better if you take a look at what you're doing. Which things do you like? This is in particular for social media, because people tend to think they have to be an omni marketer, where they omni-channel, where they have to do everything. What do you like? What's working? And do more of that, and don't worry about the other stuff. Pulling your focus away it's a distraction. So you want to keep always reevaluating what's working, do more of that, what's working, do more of that. And I think every business should have a website, especially if you're a service provider, or if you're a e-commerce. Even if you have brick and mortar, a website is going to help people find you that don't already know who you are. So having just a website, and then also building an email list. Honestly, building an email list is the most lucrative thing you can do for your business, because it helps you build a genuine community if you do it correctly. And those people become loyal. They're loyal to you. They're loyal to your brand, because they like you and they like your brand and they like the community they're a part of. So they're going to come back and keep buying from you again and again. So to sum that up, I would say in terms of social media, take a look at what you're doing right now, what's working, and focus on that. Ditch the other stuff that's not working. If you're not getting a ton of engagement on TikTok, or you just really hate TikTok, okay, don't use TikTok. You know what I mean? And then just the basics, website, and start building that email list ASAP.
Oh my gosh, I know somebody just did a breath of fresh air. They were like, oh, because they were like before this episode. Oh, there's so much to do, and then you're like, pick a platform. They're like, just pick a platform. I can do that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we take the big kind of monstrous idea of business and we break it down into, again, simple yet powerful pieces. It's a lot easier to manage, and that kind of leads me into your VIP bonus that you're giving us. So for guys, if you don't know, again, the Implementation Lab Live happening October 18th and 19th is a free event. General admission's free. You get access to all the speakers, Q&A sessions, and we're just going to have a great jam-packed implementation focused time. However, for those of you who are kind of ready to level up, our speakers are all gifting a VIP gift to our audience in our VIP vault. And so I was really excited when I found out what you were gifting us. I felt like it was Christmas. It's called the 3-day Clear Message Challenge, right? And you're going to be helping them transform their marketing message. And I think that kind of goes to what we were just talking about kind of picking smaller steps that'll make a big impact. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that VIP gift includes and how it can help the people that are listening here on the podcast?
Yeah, so the 3-day clarity challenge is designed to help you really get a handle on your core message in less than a week. It's 3 days. And each day you're going to spend about 20 to 30 minutes going through the workbook. And it's going to help you brainstorm and ask you very specific questions. So at the end of it, the first day, at the end of it, you're going to have your core message that you can use for all of your marketing stuff that you need to make. So the first day, you're going to identify your core message. You're going to decide who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And you're going to be able to say all of that in one sentence. And that one sentence is going to be your core marketing message. And then on the second day, day 2, you're going to refocus your messaging to make it about them, make it about your customer. You want your customer to be the hero of the story, and you are the guide. You're not the main character, your customer is. So the workbook is going to take you through how to switch your messaging and make that shift to make the customer the hero of the story. And then on the third day, you're going to have, at the end of the third day, clear call to actions. You're going to guide your customers to what you want them to do next. This is going to help bring a lot of clarity. This is where it's important to remember that clear over clever, because it helps conversions if you have clear call to actions, because people know exactly what you want them to do and what they're going to get when they click that button to do whatever it is you want them to do. And then at the end of the 3 days, you're going to have a really solid foundation for the rest of your marketing.
Wow. When I read it, I was like, woo, that is a lot. Thank you so much for that gift. Guys, all of that in less than 7 days. She says in 3 days, we're going to get you where you need to go. So if you have been sitting, going to YouTube University, going to webinars all over the place, and you have still not seen traction when it comes to your messaging, take these 3 days, right? You come to the Implementation Lab Live on the 18th and 19th. You get access to that vault. You take 3 days to really hone in. And she said only 20, 30 minutes a day.
Yeah,
right?
20, 30 minutes a day. Yeah.
And you got a clear core message that's going to help you convert more of your ideal clients, guys. That's a win-win right there. So thank you so much for that gift. I know I'm going to take a look at it. I don't know about you. I'm going to take a look at it. Before we hop off, Hazel, please let the folks know, even though they should be at the Implementation Lab Live happening 18th and 19th. If they don't come, how can they still connect with you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Hazel Jones Copywriting. Any places I'm going to be Hazel Jones Copywriting. So my website is hazeljonescopywriting.com. And if you want to reach out, you can email me. My email's on my website, and it's just hazel@hazeljonescopywriting.com. I'm always happy to chat with people and work through any of your marketing questions or problems. So don't hesitate to reach out. And another note on going to the Implementation Lab Live and the 3-day challenge, this stuff is great to have figured out before you work with a copywriter or another marketer, because that can really help you set you up for success when working with other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Hazel, for being on the podcast. Guys, when I tell you we are bringing the biggest, the baddest, the best, the people who are not new to this, that are true to this, to the Implementation Lab Live. You do not want to miss this event. And guys, there's no issue with access, right? It's completely free. It's virtual. You don't even have to leave your room. You can be in your pajamas, chilling in your fuzzy slippers. Come to the Implementation Lab Live, get what you need, because this is the fourth quarter of the year. We didn't just decide, on a whim when to have this event. We said we need to make sure you guys are ready to implement now so that 2026 can be your best year yet. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. There'll be a few more episodes coming out this week before the Implementation Lab Live, so definitely tune in. And guys, we will see you next time. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. And we will talk to you soon.
And that's a wrap on another episode of I Rock Business with Confidence podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining our journey into the world of entrepreneurship. If today's episode inspired you or just gave you the tools to tackle your next business challenge, we'd love your support. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, and rate us with a glowing 5 stars. And don't forget to leave us a review. Are you an entrepreneur with a unique perspective, expertise, or actionable strategies that our audience can implement today to advance their entrepreneurial journey? We're always on the lookout for guests who are ready to share their stories and insights. If that's you, please reach out to us. Remember, entrepreneurship isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And here at I Rock Business with Confidence, we're here to journey with you. Until next time, keep rocking your business with confidence. We can't wait to see where your entrepreneurship journey takes you next.